Okay, what's up, guys? I got my boy Kentari here for an interview. He asked me when's the Kentari interview, and I'm like, wow, this is actually a good idea. So yeah, I had to. And before he starts talking and shit, I just want to say that this dude is like, he was like GGOPW before GGOPW. I swear, dude. That's like, I always say he's definitely one of the best 1v1 players ever, because like if you fought him in his peak, it's like you just feel helpless. Like you feel like, oh, this guy's just better than me. And even though I like farm kids for days, like I'm just gonna get farmed by this dude every time because he's that much better than me at a game where it's like so much guessing and shit. But what's up, Kentari? How you doing today?
Pretty good.
Okay, so I'll do the normie questions.
Alright, cool.
You know, what do you like in real life, and how did you find 1v1?
I like normal stuff. I like hiking. I play a lot of video games. I've been playing a lot of Magic the Gathering lately. I read a lot. Just normal stuff.
Do you play any sports?
Or
have you?
I have. I played soccer and ran track in high school. I play basketball sometimes, but I'm not any like competitive sports right now.
Yeah, I was gonna ask. Do you have any like competitive outlets? Like, you know, you mentioned Magic the Gathering. Is that one? I don't really know too much about that game.
Yeah, I've gotten into it quite a bit the last couple of years. It's just like, yeah, it's just something to be competitive at.
So, are you still like competitive about 1v1? I feel like you just kind of log on to just troll, like in major tournaments. You just kind of fuck around, and you're a good fuck arounder. Like you're better than like 90% of people are fucking around. But like, how seriously do you take the game right now?
Right now,
yeah,
not very seriously, but it's not like I don't try to win. I just like the tour I'm in with Elo Bandit and PQS. Like, I'll prepare this week because I'm against someone who knows how to play 1v1, but I'm not gonna go out of my way. I mean, I got stuff to do.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna stress out about it. I used to stress out way too much about 1v1.
Yeah, I mean, you're kind of like not even that old, but you like whenever we DM each other, you give me old man vibes, like the way that our conversation went today.
I mean, I think I'm pretty old. I'm 28.
Oh, is that older than Whale? Fuck, I don't know. I don't know if
there,
you're older
close.
than Bobby. I think you guys are like neck and neck. I don't think either of you guys have hit the big 3-0 yet.
No, I'm not yet.
Okay, so when were you the most competitive in 1v1? Like what time, what tournaments, etc.? Or even the latter, I guess.
Definitely right before and right after the second Premier League.
Yeah.
I tried really hard to win the second Premier League.
We were close. We were so close, dude.
Yeah, that one was tough. I got so mad.
I'm so down to talk about the Diancies for like at length if you want to do that at some point. We
the
can do
dancing
that
Diancies.
Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah, that was almost
Diancies in the later in the interview. But yeah. So,
yeah. Well, I changed that name. I came up with that name in about 3 minutes because your original name was awful.
Kaleidoscopic Crocodiles. That was like a semi-troll. I don't think I was actually gonna go with it.
I think it was originally the Julian Templefs, and it'd be.
Oh wait, was I gonna premiere that in PL2? Fuck, I don't remember. That name
you were gonna
run
it.
That name was definitely one of the best. Okay, cause think about it. Right? You know, Julian Templef says, Julian Templef that. They removed it for fucking franchises or whatever, right? But at the very least, it has like strong ties with a few people, and it has strong ties with like an era in time. Like, you know, like it definitely has more impact than, I don't know, like Heat-Trans or fucking any of those other teams. I feel like even without my personal bias, that team definitely has like a very specific vibe to it that I don't think, like, I think other teams simply lack like the like cohesion. I'm dumb. That you know, that name has. But, you know, we can move on from the dueling jump offs. That's just one name that is not relevant at all. But yeah, how seriously did you take the ladder? Because I know you were a ladder fiend.
I just was depressed, so I played ladder all the time. But it's just so fun to play 1v1 ladder when there's like 3 other people who are trying to win while you're on, and that was my jam. So I always tried to win on the ladder. Oh, not always, but I always took it seriously. I had a few times like 4 or 5 accounts in the top 10.
Mm-hmm. You and Landon.
I
always did that.
Yep. You said I couldn't get rank 1 for whatever reason because I wasn't rank 1, and like 2 days later I got rank 1.
I don't know. I think I was fucking teasing you. I knew you could. You were better at than me by like a lot. In like early-ish SM, I was like not that good at like, you know, getting from like number 12 to number 1. Like that was just not really my strength.
It's such a grind. You lose 45 and you gain 3. You have to go like 15
it's
and 0.
actually heinous. Or like snipe like high ladder people when they're on.
I never sniped anyone.
Or get your friends to boost you. Like it's like stupid.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
I never sniped. The only sniping I ever did is that you can never play someone twice in a row.
Yeah.
So I would switch teams and then switch back because they were the only person who was high on the ladder. So I would I'd know I was gonna play them next. But that was the only. I never like watched other people's games.
Okay, so when did you like get started in 1v1? Did you start in ORAS or SM? I literally don't know.
I started at the very end of ORAS, like the last few months of ORAS. My first team was a single Breloom because I thought Spore would be good.
It is.
And I thought it was 1-on-1, like as in 1v1.
Yeah.
Like one Pokemon.
What happened when you fought your first 3-mon team?
I was like, oh, this is how this works. I get it now. But yeah, I was in Qatar, and I'd been playing a lot of League of Legends at the time, but like the internet wasn't good enough there to play League of Legends to America. So I was like, I want a game that I can just play online. And I played Pokemon Showdown like a long time ago, like when Diamond and Pearl were out. And I was like, oh, I can play that. Then I played 6v6 for a while.
When DBPOE was the main gen, I don't think Showdown was the thing. It was like PO or like some other boomer.
It was whatever it was. Yeah. I played that. I played the predecessor.
Yeah, because Showdown was in Black-White. I started it in Black-White on Showdown.
Yeah, I was playing the OG then.
Yeah.
And then I was playing 6v6 and I hated switching. And I was like, I never know when to switch. So I was like, well, you don't have to switch in 1-on-1. And then I just played that all the time. And then I looked up Elo Bandit's videos, same as everybody else. And then I used his team for a while.
Yeah, I forget how much of a like actual influencer he was and like still is. Like, I mean, I'm kind of like, you know, in my own world when it comes to 1v1 right now, and it's like just funny when like I hear like people, they're like, oh, Elo Bandit introduced me to 1v1. I'm like, what? He did? Like, that's crazy. I mean, he's definitely like a net positive to the community. Like, he's so good for the community.
I mean I'm sure some of his videos have more views than like people have played 1v1 ever. So
actually,
he's definitely introduced.
There's a lot of games like, I think 1v1 is like top 3 most active ladders, and yeah, it's because, you know, the games are fast, but it's genuinely popular as fuck. Like, that's something that people like to just pretend is the truth, but it is.
Yeah, it's super popular, I think.
Okay,
it's just, you know, it's easy.
Yeah. When did you start like first getting good in 1v1?
Right at the beginning of when Sun and Moon came out. I was like, I'm gonna get the jump on people. I got nothing better to do than sit here and learn all the new stuff. All the Tapu. And I just played a lot at the beginning with Silver Czar and Ecstatic Cold and UOP. That was what some of my most favorite 1v1 was, playing with those European guys. Well, Silver Czar I think is Indian, but those two guys, and like Gifford and
the goat.
You, and yeah, just playing people on ladder.
Okay, so
and that was before any of like 1v1 had started. There was no 1v1 Discord was like 7 people that Elo Bandit had made.
Oh yeah.
And
yeah, that was before Discord was like kind of big.
And the 1v1 room was like it didn't last.
Yeah, it was
like
every time. It was a
time.
group chat, yeah. And it was like focused on like room tours, right? It wasn't even talking about the tier, it was just like fucking playing it, grinding it out. Which I respect.
Yeah.
That was honestly like a good start, I'd say.
Yeah, the room was like 4 people. It was like, I think Quantum Tesseract
Yeah,
had to
I was
keep
just
making
gonna
it
say
and then
Quantum
inviting people.
Tesseract was the fucking RO. Yeah.
Yeah, well, because he was the only one who could make chats, so he had to invite you to the chat.
I have no idea how he even like started being in the 1v1 community. Like, I don't even know how that started. Someone probably asked him, "Hey,
Well,
man, can you make a 1v1 group chat?"
I
He
think that's what happened.
He was never really a big 1v1 player, like ever.
I think he was just into like the other meta games, like
Yeah.
Mix and Mega and stuff, and then he knew DDG.
You're right, because 1v1 was like an other metagame for a while. I mean, I think it still technically is, but there's like zero association with both communities right now. They're like totally separate. But like, yeah, back in the fucking day, we had like 2 or 3 threads in that form, and that was it, yeah.
Yeah, and then I just read like the old forums. I read the ORAS forum, and then I made a Smogon account to talk about Z moves, try to defend their honor, and that's how it went.
Dude, Z moves are a bad mechanic, but they're actually not as bad as Dynamax. Dude, I was playing a friendly today in BSS Factory. I don't know if you know if that is, but dude, I had a Gengar, right? And then I Destiny bonded on a Dynamax Corviknight, and then the Corviknight killed me, and then it didn't die because like Dynamax mons are fucking immune to it. Like, it's such bullshit, bro. Like, the mechanics just keep getting worse and worse. Megas were sick, then Z moves became kind of lame. I mean, some people like them, but they're kind of like not that balanced. And then you have this Dynamax, which is like the dumbest shit of all time.
Yeah, I think Dynamax works in double battles, but not in single battles.
Yeah. Okay, so like, what can you describe the like old SM ladder? Because like these kids literally have no idea what it was like, man.
I mean, people definitely try-harded more than they do now because there was nothing else. You were just playing on the ladder. So like, I would play a lot, and then I don't know if people were worse then or people are better at gaming the ladder now, but like first was never that far off. Like Ecstatic Cold was usually first because he was the best and played the most, but he was never more than like 30 points ahead of anybody else.
It's impossible. You can't, like, it's really hard to manage because, like you said, there's like, it's such a competitive ladder, there's no tournaments, anything. Some motherfuckers just grind the ladder all day. Like, there's always like tryhards on in that moment in time, like always. And then like you can't do this like +5 -30 shit. It just doesn't really work. Because there's
you could
high
never
people all the time. You're either gonna get a fucking tryhard who wants to kick your ass and gonna claim your 35 elo, or you're gonna get like some 1300 ladder player. It's like there's no in between.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, and you would just, if you played at the, when people weren't on, you would play someone at like 1200 and they would crit you and you'd lose 40 and you'd be like, well, that's that.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's still like that, but
yeah.
there was nothing else, so like everyone played on the ladder.
Yeah, and it was like basically SM ladder was kind of like ORAS plus, these like late Tapus that no one really knew how to use. There were people who were running Specs Magirna, people were running Specs,
at the very beginning.
Lele, yeah. I mean, honestly, I think it kind of took a longer than people remember for like sets to get like optimized, quote unquote. Like the Z moves.
People were still running 252 everything. It was like innovative for me to come up with like Z head smash Dawn fan.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, I remember. Like I was like the first one to use that. Head smash misses all the time. I don't want to miss, so I'm gonna use the head smash. It's better.
I was a Specs HP Rock Tapu Fini Warrior. That was my set. I loved that shit in early SM.
Yeah, but, you know, people were worse.
And then there was
that was when people were coming. That was when stuff got invented. That was when UOP like invented EVing your stuff properly.
Yeah, with the Kieran Black.
Kieran Black, Gollum, and Durant.
Yeah, dude, we know
and
that shit.
And he was rank 1 with Gollum, Durant, like Z Ice, Kieran Black.
Yeah.
It was different times.
Yeah.
Oh, and all the megas weren't out yet either.
Yeah. It took a while.
It was a big deal.
Like
a lot of people out and stuff.
And Mawile too. Mawile was like a big drop. I remember Grow Sweep made this post where it's like, "Is God Squad gonna return?" Like, you know, the Zargara Maw team gave her. Grow Sweep was like hard anticipating that set to be like the new thing, even though it, you know, was like Zargara Magirna, and that had like, it wasn't like the team. It was just, you know, a team. But yeah, that was funny.
Well, Primarina and Tapu Fini both helped.
Mm-hmm.
Because they were the ones that were obviously good. But yeah, you can go back to the original forums and you can see some funny stuff. Yeah. Like at the very beginning. Like, you can see like the first post about like Cursed Mimikyu. And stuff like that.
Oh my god, Mimikyu, dude. Fuck that mom.
Yeah, Mimikyu it turned out to be dumb.
Dude, I feel like in Gen 90, Mimikyu is gonna like be like something that isn't banned in 1v1, even though like I feel like Mimikyu has zero place in 1v1 ever. Like, it should not be allowed. It's gonna fucking exist at some point.
Well, Cursed Mimikyu was so lame.
With T-Wave, man, shit was lame.
Oh yeah, Mace Master.
I thought that was a Raymond
now
tech.
Nale. I only knew Nale as Mace Master back then.
Yeah.
They were the original crazy sets.
Mm-hmm.
I remember Mace Master got like 1900 Elo with Vigoroth.
Yeah. People weren't really that experimental back then, like, honestly. They kind of,
Not as much now. Yeah. Well, especially in Gen 6 and 7. Yeah. There's nothing else than crazy stuff.
Mm-hmm. People ran their, Venusaurs.
Yep.
Kieran Blacks.
Oh, Elite Champion was super. He was always had new sets.
And Testing
Elite Champion doesn't play anymore.
Right? Testing Swag had new shit always.
Oh, yeah. Testing Swag, or Categorical Swag was his other alt.
Yeah.
He never talked to anybody. He
never played a single tour.
Anything.
No tours ever. Just a ladder demon. Invented that Z Magirna like 2 years before anyone else used it.
Yeah, he invented Z Magirna and Iron Defense Magirna like before like it came out.
Mm-hmm.
Like he invented Stall Magirna. He invented a bunch of sets. Like that was back when you could invent sets.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like yours.
Yeah. I was like the Ferrothorn guy and the Bushy guy.
You were the Ferrothorn and the Jump Left guy.
And the Jump Left guy, yeah. I mean, Jump Left was my first thing. And they started spamming Ferrothorn. Actually, no, dude, I was a Jump Left guy. I totally forgot about that because everyone started running Flame Charge, just fucking Flame Charge Charizard for Jump Left.
Yeah, Flame Charge Charizard for Jump Left and Flame Charge for Tapu Koko, and Tapu Koko got Iron Defense.
Yeah.
Iron Defense Tapu Koko was out of control.
So what do you, like, do you think you can describe the community back then? It was way different than it is now.
I don't really know how it is now. Is the thing. I'm not really
Okay,
in
so
the community.
basically, there's like the idiots in the 1v1 room, and there's like Discord, and there's like a bunch of Discord, so it's kind of like all over the place. But like back then, it was just like the 1v1 room, right? That was it, and the thread, I guess.
Yeah, but it was a lot smaller. It was like, it was like 15 people.
And I'm not trying I'm not trying to like back in my day, but like, back then, since there was no Discord, I mean, like there was a Discord, but like it was like barely a thing, and like we only had 3 threads. It was like there was like more discussion actually happening in like the 1v1 room between like actually good players instead of just like literal like 11-year-olds. I was an 11-year-old on PS at one point, but I didn't really like talk like that.
Well, I mean that's because like only people who were in it who knew were the ones who knew about it. Were
yeah, which
people
is like
played
the people
1v1
who
all the time.
Cared, yeah.
Yeah, it's just a lot bigger now.
Mm-hmm.
And there were the 1v1 forums because 1v1 wasn't on Smogon yet, so the
that was briefly a thing.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm gonna go to the questions I already asked you about.
All right, cool.
You already wrote an answer, but go ahead and elaborate. What are your favorite sets that you made? 1v1 ever?
Definitely the Z Psychium Pukumuku. The one that I used over and over and over again. That one was a lot of fun. I always liked Pukumuku. And then I didn't make it, but I definitely brought it to Gen 7. The Will-O-Wisp Stall Mew with Taunt Amnesia.
Okay, if I'm being honest,
and I always used.
I think we brought it. I always say I brought it because I was active on the forums in ORS. I think we both brought it at the same time. Like it was like both of us like really like at the exact same time. Because I farmed kids with Mew all the time.
I never used Seismic Toss.
Yeah, I was only Sauce. I never Amnesia. Better. Never Amnesia. No Amnesia.
I used Amnesia.
Yeah, which is a big difference.
Yeah, and then because it was on the ORAS forum.
Yeah. ASF the GOAT.
Yep. And he posted that set, and then I only used Stall Mew because to replace Deoxys Defense after it got banned.
I think it was dumb.
Yeah, I mean it should have got banned, but Mew is basically the only other Pokemon that learns Taunt, Amnesia, and a defense boosting move.
And recovery, and is good.
Yeah, and it's recovery, and it doesn't have terrible stats, so Mew could do the same thing Deoxys Defense did, which was cool. And then, I mean, I don't know if I invented it, but I definitely popularized Landorus T. That's in the forums too. You can see where I post about like Landorus T was like C rank, and I posted that it should have been like B+ rank.
Yeah, dude. And then at that moment, like everyone realized, oh shit, dude, we can use like Rock Tomb, and we can use Bulldoze, and we can use Electro Web. Before that, it wasn't really common at all to see those moves. It was kind of just these like choice attackers or like this like set up like 3 attacks type of thing. But then it became like about like optimization, like fucking rock. And I remember I was like, dude, when people started using like Rock Tomb, Flame Charge, Bulldoze, I'm like, dude, I hate these moves, they suck. And then I realized like half a year later, I'm like, dude, these are actually legit.
Yeah, I think a lot of it was beating Mimikyu because Rock Tomb was like
for sure.
Rock Tomb, Flame Charge, Electro. Those were all the best ways to beat Mimikyu because you had to lower its speed so you could attack it after you broke its disguise.
Yeah.
And then they were also good against Tapu Koko, and I think and then Tapu Koko also led to Laser Focus.
Yeah, I was just thinking earlier about Rosa saying like, "Hey guys, this is a move."
Yeah, I remember the Dark Alakazam TDA. He used Laser Focus Metagross a bunch when Iron Defense Tapu Koko came out.
Yeah, dude, Spidef Metagross was a thing. Oh my god, hate that shit.
Yep. And then and then Lantern, which I just used, which is actually your Lantern.
but better, for sure.
I
I'll
mean,
admit
I don't think. I mean, I put actual
my
a little
EVs
bit of work
sucked.
into it.
My EVs were really bad. I was like really fast for no reason. And I had HP, which you shouldn't invest in HP in Lantern.
Yeah, that set was dope. That was probably my favorite set I've played.
Dude, imagine if I
The
didn't
one-
taunt the Lantern, or if I did taunt the Lantern. If I taunted Lantern, would we be
It
here
never would
today?
have happened. Yep, wouldn't be here. And then I had a team with Entei, Meloetta, and something else terrible. But it was Assault Vest Entei, Scarf Meloetta, and I think Full Stall Chansey with Growl and Defense Curl and Rest.
Nasty. What did Scarf
And I
Mellow
got
beat?
rank 1. And I got rank 1 with that team because it was when Tapu Koko was OP. And people would pick Tapu Koko into that team 100% of the time, and Scarf Meloetta beat it every time you hit a Hyper Beam. So I just won like 15 games in a row, and then cheesed people with Assault Vest, Entei, occasionally. And that was a really fun team. And it was ridiculous because it was Meloetta, Entei, and like Chansey, which all suck.
That's like where the Kentari Choice Scarf Fascination came from. I feel like it had to have been.
I think the Choice Scarf Fascination is recent.
Really?
Like, since I came back, since I started in World Cup, I just put Choice Scarf on every single thing because I'm obsessed with beating Greninja.
Yeah, it has nasty coverage in this. Because you can run like Poisonium if you want. You can run like Icium. You can run standard specs. You can run Torrent. Sometimes you just lose to it. So yeah, Scarf is good. Plus there's like Zeraora and shit.
Yeah, and then I run even weirder stuff. Like I was gonna run last week in the team tour, defensive Scarf Jirachi, like impish Scarf Jirachi.
Yeah, I was actually talking with Desire today about Scarf Garchomp. It's actually really bad, dude. You need to add him in to beat Greninja. It's a disaster. But I guess that's not the biggest
I don't think
deal.
it's very good.
I mean, you beat like Greninja, and if you're playing SM, you beat Zera, and then like I guess you can beat Zard still with like Rock Slide. I don't know. It just seems like bad to me. But yeah. So let's talk about like the start of tournaments, because that was like big. That was like really big, because it kind of led to where we are today, right? So how competitive were you when tournaments first started? I guess.
I wasn't that competitive. I honestly wasn't I didn't sign up for all the tournaments. I know I didn't sign up for the first
Ladder
Premier
Tour.
League.
Or ladder. No, you did sign up for the first PL, I think. You were on Chris's team. See, I have way too good memory of this bullshit. But you didn't sign up for the first ladder tour.
I think I was on.
You beat
I
Toad.
think that was.
You reverse 3
I don't
or
remember
you
that.
reverse 4-0'd. You reverse 4-0'd Toad, dude. That was rough. Do you
I
remember
don't
that?
know. My team must have stunk.
It was bad, yeah. You didn't make playoffs. It was pretty
Yeah.
bad.
Okay, that's why. That's probably why I don't remember it, because I
Yeah.
probably didn't pay that much attention, because I was like, we're gonna just get crushed.
Yeah.
That was how the only time 1v1 was in the other metagames Premier League. My team went like 1-7, and it's the only tour I've ever gone less than 500 in, because I just gave up after like week 2 when like I was playing and we were like already 0-5. And I was like, well, I guess it doesn't matter if I win.
Yeah. And I remember you didn't sign up for the first ladder tour, or you didn't make it at least, which was like really big. Like that could have like changed the entire course of the tournament. Like deadass. You could have beat UOP, man. You could have beat UOP.
I never. Every ladder tour I couldn't play in it. I think either the first or second ladder tour I tried to make it in like a day, because I was like, I forget what was going on. I think I was moving or something and I couldn't play in it. And so like the only time I had was like the last day, and I tried to make it, and I didn't make it in the last day or whatever.
I think I
But
was a cycle
ladder tours are always
forward.
my favorite. I've always wished I could have won or at least gotten to the playoffs of a SM ladder tour.
They are cool as fuck. I feel like it's SM, like anything can happen. Okay, so, besides, this is gonna be an open-ended question, but what, like, do you have any, like, Pokemon that you think are/were underrated back then? And, do you think that there was, like, underrated players back then? Sets and Pokemon, and people. I don't care. Talk about something.
I mean, people who quit, who aren't around anymore, are obviously going to be underrated. Like Duskgreymon, Elite Champion, Gifford. I mean, they were all really, really good back then, and I'm sure they'd be good now. They just don't play anymore. Emperor, Silvers. They just aren't around anymore, so people don't know about them.
Yeah. Do you have any underrated Pokemon from, like, I guess Kyurem Black era? 'Cause that's what we're on right now.
Kyurem Black era? Man, I don't remember. That was a long time ago. Probably, I guess Chansey, because I always won with Chansey. Nowadays, you can't win with Chansey to save your life, but back then, Chansey was quite good. I guess Dragonite was underrated, because I guess Dragonite's super OP. Oh, and Superior. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Whoever came up with Superior should be like curing cancer or like working for Amazon to send people to Mars or whatever, because they need to find something to do other than Pokemon, because they're geniuses.
I think it was CP2 made one set. He made like this like Psychium Z set, and then Ravon just made the set that we all know today.
Oh yeah, Ravon. I never really knew Ravon.
I mean, he was locked on PS for a while. He was like an ORAS dude, and then he came back like late-ish SM to make Serp, and kind of start popularizing Scarf D Knight, Reggie Serp, that bullshit. And he liked Diggersby, I think, too, which people started using after he used it. It wasn't really common before. Yeah, good player. Cool lead, too.
Yeah, that's probably about it. Duskgreymon was also a genius. He was, I would admit he's better than me. Him and GGOPW are like the only two people I'd like legit be like, yeah, I think they're probably better than me. Everybody else I think I'd at least even with.
That's pretty funny.
Although back then GGOPW wasn't any good. So.
Yeah, he wasn't. Like,
he only got good after I quit.
Era. Yeah. And then, okay, so let's talk about PL2, because me and you could both talk about that. So what was your mindset going into that tour, and how do you want to describe it, I guess?
I kind of went into it being like, I'm gonna run everything and like do it all myself. So I got somebody who didn't even play 1v1 to co-manage with me. Jaran. He played like Mix and Mega and stuff, but he didn't actually play 1v1, and I was just like, hey, do you want to be a manager in 1v1 PL? You don't have to do anything. And he was like, yeah, okay, sure. And then I just drafted people I liked.
Oh yeah, dude. And also I think we were supposed to manage together, and then I rage quit because Kyurem Black got banned, and I'm like, I'm only playing ORS from now on.
Yeah, I think that's why we changed the name, because I was like, oh cool, I'm the main manager now. I'm gonna change this stupid name.
Dude, it wasn't even that bad. Come on, man. It really wasn't.
I like Dance. He's better. But yeah, PL2 was a ton of fun. I really liked it.
If we were playing today, it would be like 5 washed players, and then you. Like everyone on that team just like got really bad. There's like UOP, Fertile Crescent. Well, Fertile Crescent like has a life somehow. UOP, Washed, Fertile Crescent like is like, I don't know, does not play anymore. We had Zard 888, right?
Yep.
We had Baleoblaze. Wait, no. Yeah, we did have Baleoblaze. Yeah, we did have Baleoblaze.
Yep, Baleoblaze.
I'm trying to think of who else.
We had Magma.
Yeah, dude, I was just thinking of that because UOP's like, hey, draft my friend Magma. And you're like, okay.
Yeah. Magma's name isn't even Magma anymore.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure most people know him as Magma, though. Like, some people probably, didn't you not know that Nolly was Mace Master for a while?
I didn't know they changed their name.
Yeah, so, you know, shit like that.
Yeah, but Magma went like 5-0 because I made sure they always had the easiest matchup.
I think they clutched at the end of the tournament. I don't think it was 5-0. I think it was like 3-0 or 4-0 or something.
Yeah, they were 3-0 or 4-0 or something like that. They didn't
I think they bounced around in tiers a lot. I think we kind of just threw them into like random tiers and they won.
Yep, I definitely remember that.
Yeah, back when me and Magma got along, man. Good times.
And then I remember Fertile Crescent won a series that we like had to win, and he just used mono normal and won anyway, even though everyone knew he was gonna use mono normal.
Yeah, I know, dude. That was the dumbest shit. Like, just use a sock, bro, or something. I don't know.
But he was smart, man. I'd be like, well, how do you beat Sock? And he'd be like, oh, well, max defense Pidgeotto. And I'd be like, oh, I guess he has thought about it. I'd be like, how do you beat Sableye? And he'd be like, oh, I just, you know, whatever. Some Porygon Z set that always beats Sableye. And I'd be like, dang, he's smart. He's super smart. I was like, I thought he was just going to be like, oh, I don't know.
And that was also when... it was a beast.
Yeah, that was when Snorlax he made those Snorlax sets.
Yeah, he did. And it was like actually well EV'd, I'm pretty sure at the time.
He had like 6 different EVs.
Yeah, like
for like every occasion.
In general.
But he got Snorlax banned basically.
Mm-hmm.
He came up with all the Yon Normalian Z sets. He was the one who was making them.
And then Gifford showed me Curse. And once I knew about that, bro, oh my god. That was like the freest dubs on the ladder of all time.
I mean, Curse was in Boras, I think, but...
Well, it had, I had Papa, which was 50%, which was huge.
Yep. Snorlax was out of control.
Mm-hmm. It was like, everyone ran like Golem and Sub-Metagross. Some bullshit, man. And Curse beat both of them.
Yep. I beat, I used Earthquake because...
Yeah, same.
It beat Zard X more often because Earthquake did more damage. And you didn't have to risk crits or them being like really high attack.
Dude, you know what's funny? When FC was starting to use Snorlax, and I saw their set, I was like, dude, why don't you use the Z move Pulverizing Pancake? Because it's like, I don't know. It's like Snorlax's special Z move, and it like does something. It's like strong or something. But it's like Z Giga Impact, and that would make it just terrible. Like, because half the cool thing about Snorlax is that you can run like Z Yawn to Yawn while taunted, or Z Drum.
Oh yeah.
Z Drum was crazy. Z Drum, like, oh my god, dude.
Oh yeah, and he would run Double Edge instead of when everyone else ran Giga Impact.
Yeah.
And they were like,
Double Edge was better.
And he would run Z Double Edge because it would just people would substitute and they'd be like, well, I win now, and he would just Double Edge turn 1 because he knew you were gonna sub, and you'd be like, oh, this guy, he knows what he's doing here.
I kind of felt the opposite. I used to be like, oh my god, this guy's so bad. He Double Edged my Submon. That type of thing. And
then he would just Double Edge, like, he would just Double Edge and you would die. And he'd be
be like, this guy's so terrible.
Yeah.
But
That was my mentality.
after I played
for sure.
so long, yeah, I played so much 1v1 that, like, if you lose to it, it's not bad. Like, if somebody just double edges you 5 times in a row, like, that wasn't bad. That was the right thing to do.
Yeah, I mean, it's about the mindset. I like, my 80% of the time, you know, my mindset was like, this dude sucks. I remember when I played Toad in LT, you know, I was the Ferrothorn. I mean, people didn't categorize me as a Ferrothorn guy. I was like the jump left guy, but like, oh my god, I used so much fucking Ferrothorn. And then I fought Toad in like Ladder Tour, and he beat me with like HP Fire Vanillux or something, and I was like so mad. I'm like, this guy got so lucky. What the hell, man? He happened to have the HP Fire just for my Ferrothorn. Like, I was so oblivious, dude.
Yeah, once tours came out more, there's more of that, like, only beats one thing kind of thing. Because back when it was only ladder, you couldn't just, you had to, like, you know, you had to snipe people in order to use those terrible sets. But you couldn't use, like, you know, HP Fire Vanillux, because, like, you were just going to face some 1300 guy, and he was going to pick Gyarados into your team that looked like it 3-0'd Gyarados, but doesn't actually beat Gyarados. And then you'd be like, how are you picking Gyarados into Ferrothorn, Tapu Koko, and something else that beats Gyarados? And he's like, oh, I thought since Gyarados was dark, it beat Tapu Lele. And you're like, oh no.
Yeah, though, it's like
There goes my
1300s mentality.
Yeah, but now that you're now that it's all tournaments, you can do stuff like Tangela and Lantern, because it only has to win one game.
Yeah, and I remember like PL2, C-teaming like was not like a big thing even at that point. I remember like I would just build like random shit and then use it that week. Like it would like not even like be for my opponent barely. Like, I think week 1 I like sniped Elo Bandit with my Choppleberry Kirin Black. I don't know if you remember that, but
Oh, that was an ORS, yeah.
yeah. That was like when I started getting good at building, and I started using resist berries. I started like actually scouting people.
Yeah, Rosa was like the only person who C-teamed people.
Mm-hmm.
And that was what I knew her for, was because that's how we lost PL2. She used like Leech Life, Mew,
yeah. Oh my God.
Because yeah, back then people would just use 4 teams, or they would just use the teams they used on the ladder all the time.
Yeah, I was an ORAS, and I also had like a lot of free time back then, so I would like try hard to just build like random shit, and just to like get better at the meta. Like I grinded ORAS so much back then, like, and then I still lost to General Junderson. Hey man, happens.
It happens.
And then, so what do you have anything to say about the Shadow Claw series in the finals? That was like, when you lost in finals, I'm like, oh man, Big Boss Kentari lost. Fuck, that sucks.
I wish I didn't get frozen by Ice Punch.
I mean, I don't know, it's best of 7. There was one game of hacks, right? Like,
I mean, there was one game of hacks, and then the other 2 games I lost was a 50-50 with Nihilego, and I got the 50-50 wrong both times. And then the last game they counter-teamed me and won.
yeah.
So, happens.
Yeah, dude, they were definitely... Dude,
it was Toxic Mega Pidgeot.
Toxic Mega
The
Pidgeot?
poor little Pikachu.
Oh my god.
Yep.
He's filthy for that. Dude, they were definitely luckier than
No, it was
the
Rosa.
finals. Oh, it was Rosa?
Yeah, but
Really, yeah.
that was like one of the Shadow Claw's first like tournaments.
That was like his first tournament. Like,
yeah.
I didn't see him before that.
I mean, turned out he was super good, so no big deal.
But dude, they were definitely luckier in finals, bro. Like, dude, our gunk shots missed. Like, we missed like 2 or 3 gunk shots in finals. Like, that's so bad. And then, you know, you got frozen in a parallel universe. We maybe won. I don't know. Maybe we went to TB. Who knows? But yeah, I mean, luck happens. The luckier team wins usually. You know.
Yep.
Ease what it is. So.
If they were.
What are you gonna say?
Oh, I mean, they were definitely, if not the best team, then definitely the second best
Yeah,
team.
no, yeah. It was
they
the top two teams. I remember at the start of the tournament, I'm like, okay, guys, what do you guys think about the Diancies Virizions finals? Like, that's gonna happen. And then it happened.
Yep,
and people were surprised that I was right. I'm like, oh my god, like how? Like,
yeah.
It's so obvious. Okay, so
Yep.
what made you stick with SM 1v1 instead of just, being a Gen 7 player that turned into a Gen 8 player that turns into a Gen 9 player? What made you stick with SM?
I mean, I hated Gen 8 when it came out. I think a lot of people did. There weren't a lot of Pokemon. It was lame. There was a bunch of stuff that got banned. I just didn't like it, and I didn't have enough time to get good at it again.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I'm not gonna get into it.
When are you heading into the ORS arena, man? I'm waiting. Eagerly.
I mean, if there's a tournament that doesn't have SM and does have ORS, then I guess. But given the choice, I'll always pick Gen 7.
You don't want to get out of your box a little? Not at all?
Maybe one time. Maybe for one tournament.
That's what I like to hear, man. I think you should play a little bit of ORS because it's literally just, Gen 7, but like kind of simpler. So, I feel like you could figure it out. But, I'm not going to fucking force you to play ORS. But you have shown interest in it, so I think you should pursue that interest. It's not a lot of commitment to learn. Just like realize that, hey, sometimes Victini runs weakness policy or specs. Sometimes Lando runs specs or AV, shit that doesn't run in SM. But yeah, I appreciate your enthusiasm. Regardless, for sure.
Yeah, I'll give it a try. For sure. There's lots of teams on Gen 6 in my team builder because they're legal on Gen 6,
Oh yeah,
I
I think
Mega Aggron, Superior, Charizard.
Yeah, I think you gave me back in the day, you're like, hey, take this ORS team. Or like, what do you think of this ORS team? And it had like a Gardevoir, and I'm like, okay, man, this looks pretty cool. That was like before I used Gardevoir. It took me a while before I started using it. Okay, back to the question I had before. Okay, so do you like the old SM or the new SM more?
I guess the new SM. People are just better.
You said hard to say, probably SM for old nostalgia, and they just switched up now. I appreciate it. But you said people are better now. I definitely get that. I mean, you don't seem like the most competitive guy, but I mean, think about if we were still at the skill level now that we were 3 years ago. Like, would it even be worth staying for? People running, 2v2 on every mon. People just not being good at picking. People never see teaming, Would that even be worth playing?
Yeah, it wouldn't be fun.
If that was how it was, bro, I would have won at least 3 tournaments or something like that. I would have farmed, bro, I swear, if no one actually progressed. But yeah.
People were bad.
I mean, it's great. Competition's great. I always like it. But, yeah, they were totally different, metagame and player base, Kieran Black and Coco. Do you miss Kieran Black and Coco? What are your opinions on them right now? And what were your opinions on them back then?
I mean, I don't miss Tapu Koko at all. I think it's super, super lame. It has only one set. You can run Therium and Flying but they're not real. And people only ran Therium because of Kieran Black. So, I mean, it would still be broken today. Iron Defense didn't get any worse. And, I mean, you could bring back Kieran Black. It would probably be broken now too, but it would be fun at least.
I think Kieran Black would be fun. It'd just be Dragonite, but better, man.
Yeah, basically. But you can run Scarf Specs, Band, like Tanky, Substitute,
Z move,
like 4 different Z moves.
Home
It's at least interesting. Tapu Koko is so boring. It's like Mimikyu. It's the same thing every single game.
Yeah, I remember I ran Specs Coco on a team that it made no sense to run Specs Coco on. And I was like, oh yeah, I can actually use underrated sets. Like, that's the thing I can do. I can like actually experiment. And it was a bad experimentation, but like, people did that shit. We say that Farium didn't exist, but I remember some Farium. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it definitely was a thing.
People used it. I know.
But no, I wasn't playing
it.
SM. I wasn't playing SM at like peak Electrium Z Iron Defense. I like quit at that point because I was like I was post Kieran Black, right? So that was like during EPO.
Yeah, that was when Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon came out, and Magirna got Iron Defense, and Tapu Koko got Iron Defense.
Yeah, dude, do you
Things
remember?
got a little out of hand then.
Yeah, no, it was kind of ridiculous. I mean, it still took people a little bit to figure out Coco, but then they did, and then it was like, oh shit. And people like to pretend Electric Seed was a setback, and that was something that pissed me off. Like, I saw a little bit of Farium, but I never saw Electric Seed, like, never ever. And then people were acting like it was a legit thing to get Coco banned. I'm like, this is some fucking nonsense, dude. What is this? But
Yeah. Oh yeah, talk about the very beginning. People ran crazy stuff. People would run like Beware and Mudsdale and like just
Toxapex.
Max. Yeah. People ran really bad sets and EVs right at the beginning of Sun and Moon. People are a lot better now than 3-4 years ago.
Mm-hmm. So like, is it really not a big deal? Like, what tier you like? Kieran Black or no Kieran Black? Is that even a big deal to you? Do you really like care about the tier that much, or do you just care about the game or the competition?
I've never cared about bans or unbans, to be honest. It doesn't really make that much of a difference to me. I think like the whole like philosophy thing on the forums is kind of dumb. It's just like interesting to ban Pokemon and like keep changing what's good. So,
yeah,
that's
like arguably the most interesting part of bans, because like sometimes the bans in a gen are like make the meta like just completely worse, like straight up.
Yeah, that's what other games do.
Yeah,
like MOBAs, and every game that like balances, they just balance it for the sake of changing what's good and what's bad, just to keep it interesting. I think banning is a lot more of that than people pretend it is.
I just wish that for example, here's that. That's an example. Fucking Victini meta was like actually really fun, even though Victini in SS Victini meta was sick. But the issue was that it wasn't sustainable because Victini had like 100 different options and they were all fucking broken. But what I wish they did was Smellgun sat down and be like, okay, Victini is definitely a healthy thing for this meta, like for sure. When it comes to, diversity and keeping this mon in check, right? So what if we just banned weakness policy on Victini? Because that's what's pushing it over the edge, If it's like banned and resist barriers, who fucking cares? It's gonna be good but not broken. I wish that's what Smellgun did, because like, I like Oras. That tier has had one change since the gen ended, and it was fairly minor. DOD, whatever. The thing had low usage because people didn't want to get crit or made fun of or like cussed out, for using it. But I wish they took that sort of approach with like thinking about a tier long term. And like, complex bans or whatever, but that's not Smellgun. It's what it is.
Yeah, I don't think anything's gonna change now. People have been saying that for like 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
That same stuff about complex bans.
Okay, so what are your favorite 1v1 series ever?
I really only can... I'm sure there's ones that other people have played, but I can only name the ones I've played.
Yeah.
This is just like ones I've played in, not like all of all time. So definitely the first time I came back and I beat LKJC, not last year, 2 years ago in the World Cup when I was just bored in Korea, and DG asked me, "Hey, are you back playing 1v1?" And I was like, "No, but I guess so." He's like, "You want to be? You want to be on World Cup?" I was like, "All right, cool. I'll play with DG. I never got to play with him, so I was on Asia World Cup, even though I've lived in Asia a year of my life. And then I won the first series back, which was pretty dope. After I used like clay doll, a completely unusable clay doll set with like imprisoned rest.
My boy Derek Rajay has ran Mimic imprisoned rest bullshit before. Actually, I don't think he has even had rest. It was like imprisoned Mimic, no recovery. So you just like die, like you don't actually do anything.
Yeah, I don't. It was a crazy. It was really awful, and I was like, "How did you? What are you doing?" And then I hacked the other two series, so I went undefeated in the World Cup. I beat Elo Bandit and Blaziken by haxing the hell out of them, which is pretty cool. And then in the last Premier League, I beat TOL with Tangela and 3-0'd him, which was pretty dope.
James
Elo,
isn't the
that was
the
Elo
go-to?
Bandit set. What was that?
James isn't the go-to series. I mean, that's not as honestly.
Oh, well, that's
legendary.
That's probably number one. Where I
Legendary.
Lantern, Aerodactyl. What was the other Pokemon? Something else
Rotom.
awful.
Rotom, right?
No, it wasn't Rotom. I replaced Rotom with Lantern.
Oh, yeah, I don't remember what the third was.
It was Aerodactyl.
Wasn't it? Oh no, Arrow was a laser focus mon.
Oh no, it was Mawile.
Maw.
It was Mawile, Lantern, Aerodactyl. Which is just
The best team ever.
an insane team.
Yeah.
Just completely unusable. And then it worked perfectly and did exactly what I wanted it to, and Lantern won a game. And then, just for fun, I AFK'd and lost the game. Just to give him one.
Were you
Just to let him have
calking?
one.
You were calking, right?
Yeah, I was calking.
I'm not buying the AFK to give him one. That's not no.
No, I didn't do that on purpose.
Yeah.
Like, I just kind of forgot about the timer. Because I was calcing Heatran versus Aerodactyl, and I was on my iPad, so it took way longer, because like it's not like your computer where you can just click back and forth. So I was sitting there trying to calc if there was any Heatran where he wouldn't pick it into Aerodactyl or whatever, and where I could lose. Or it was, yeah. And then my Ice Fang Aerodactyl beat Landorus Therian, which was dope.
Okay, so I'm gonna go into some more IRL questions. Okay, so
Alright.
Solar Flare RO asks, "Are you married to a cute Asian, and if so, any tips on getting a cute Asian girlfriend?"
I'm not married to a cute Asian. I'm married to a cute girl, but she's not Asian.
Do you have any advice for getting cute girls nonetheless? You're a married man, so, you know, you got that wisdom.
Just, like, work. You gotta work on yourself, man. You gotta be, like, a nice guy who people want to hang out with. You gotta have a good job. You gotta be clean. You gotta shower every day. You gotta work out. That's how, you know, you gotta have people want to like you.
Yeah, I don't think Solar does any of the things you described, you know, showering.
Okay, well,
working out.
shower every day. You know, lift weights, read books.
Yeah, be sophisticated if you're Kentari.
Yeah, people want to go out with you.
Okay. Solar
then, you
also
know, be nice
asks.
to people.
Okay, what were you gonna say? Be nice.
Then be nice to people.
Yeah. Solar does not do that either. Solar also wants to know if you saw James lose to an Ilubize in the finals of World Cup. Did you see that?
I did not,
Oh well, it
but I
happened.
believe it.
It happened. And then
It's prankster, right?
yeah, it's
It's like
prankster like
prankster
Z
toxic.
Charm, and it has encore, so you
Oh,
can't belly
okay.
drum or DD or whatever. And then Beaufort wants to know if you are a tits or ass person.
Tits.
So what are your thoughts on the new 1v1 players? This is not IRL, but you know, this is what I've been requested to ask. Because I know you think a lot of players are bad that people don't actually think are bad. Or, yeah, that people think are good. Who is bad? Kentari now, and who is good? Give us a scoop.
I mean, isn't everyone bad at 1v1?
I mean, there's people that gravitate more towards being okay than bad. Because, like, people just,
I don't know.
you know, there's a lot of upsets, you know. People, like, take turns having bad tournaments. People take turns choking. People take turns getting upsets, you know. I feel like a lot of the time the worst player wins these days. It's, like, actually very interesting. It's like a whole mental phenomenon of, like, people don't want to lose because their friends will make fun of them. So they play scared.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I think, even though I don't like them, Ecstatic and Stable are both good. They win a lot.
Who's bad, Kentari? Who is fucking garbage? Who do you hate on
I don't know.
Smodon? And who is bad?
I don't want to hate on anybody. I don't even know anybody anymore. I never. Some dude had a Honchkrow as his avatar on Pokemon Showdown, and I never liked that guy.
Yeah, dude, I think he was on my World Cup team. I think he went 0-2, and I had to fucking sub his ass out because he's like, I don't care about this. I don't even play Pokemon anymore. He like plays Pokemon Go or something.
Oh well, there you go. I never liked that guy. I don't even know his name.
I think it was just Honchkrow.
Oh, okay. Well, we never got along. I never got along with Freddie K either, but I think that was just both of our personalities.
He's much less of an edgelord these days. He's way less edgy these days. You'd probably be fine with him.
Yeah, I mean, I used to be super rude to people all the time.
Super what?
I've mellowed in my age.
What'd you say? You were super what? You kind of cut out.
Oh, I was super rude to people. I've mellowed out.
Yeah, talk about for a sec, like, your personality back then, your tendencies on the ladder, if you would.
I mean, I was depressed, I guess. So when people would do dumb stuff, I would get mad when I lost. So I'd be like, "You're stupid." But I never thought I was that bad. I'm sure some people thought I was that bad.
I remember I just randomly fought you on the ladder one day, and you outpicked me, as you usually did. And then you said, like, you guys all play the same, and I'm like, what are you even talking about? You're like, you, Landon, and like those other guys, you all play the exact same. And I'm like, whatever, dude, shut up. And then I just lost and like left.
I mean, certain people do play, like, they always pick the same, no matter what team they have or what team you have. I always thought Ecstatic Cold always picked the same.
He picks really
the Pokemon that was
aggro.
best. Yeah.
He doesn't necessarily pick the best one. He picks like this like weird aggro. I think he's fairly versatile, but yeah, he like, picks his weird like aggro. It's like you expect it, but he kind of does the play where it's like, oh, no one would ever go Primarina here versus like Tapu Koko, Metagross, whatever the fuck, and then he goes Primarina because he like hard calls or Heatran or something. Yeah, that's like the type of player he is. But yeah, we were both edgelords on the ladder, that connection.
Yep.
But another IR question is, like, you've mentioned you've like moved around. What is like your favorite place that you've been in, and then what is your least favorite place?
Least favorite place, probably Qatar. And favorite place, Korea.
Okay, so another question. What is your music taste these days?
I like jazz and like pop music mostly. That's mostly what I listen to.
I remember, dude, back in the day, you sent me.
Oh,
Hey, do you know what I'm talking about?
I think I sent you Sales.
Yeah, you
Is
sent
that
me
right?
this like indie song that like didn't have that many views, dude. Now, like a year or two
That
ago,
song blew up.
yeah, it became a TikTok song. Like my fucking brother probably knows that song, and he like fucking listens to NBA YoungBoy and shit. But yeah, that song blew up, and when I first started hearing it places, I'm like, what the fuck? It's so weird to me. Yeah, dude. I'm
Yeah,
glad
that was
you
like-
found that. The song is so good.
Yeah, that was like the one hipster thing I've ever done. I was on that song when it had like
No
less than
views.
like 500,000.
Yeah, it had no views. And I'm like, this shit bangs. I think I'll listen to it like after we end this. It's so fucking good, dude. I personally recommend you and all the viewers to listen to some fucking Japanese jazz, some Japanese pop, some Japanese ambient music. That shit is amazing. I'll link some in the description just for you guys. I got some good
Cowboy
recs, man.
Bebop is on Netflix.
Yeah, that shit's good too. I fucking
Talking about Japanese jazz.
dude, all my nicknames in like early SM era were from this producer. He used to like sample Cowboy Bebop like all the fucking time. So like I'll be just like randomly like scrolling through like Twitter or something, and I'll see a Cowboy Bebop clip, and I'm like, oh yeah, I've literally heard this before. Like I never watched that shit, but it's like hella familiar to me. So Cowboy Bebop, I fucking approve. 100%. And Deg approve, so, you know, that's how you know. Me and him, both two cultured individuals. And Kentari, cultured individual who's lived in like 5,000 countries. That's how you know, man. That's how you know it's legit.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I'm in the military, so I've moved around a bit.
Okay, last question. Give me a random Irl factoid about yourself, if you can think of any. That is, like, interesting. Oh, I already know what you're gonna say if you can think of something. If not, I'll remind you. What do you gotta say to a random Kentari fact?
Remind me.
It's that you had a Pukumuku t-shirt, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's the random Kentari fact of the day.
I literally bought it because of 1v1. I still have it. It's in my drawer. I wear it around. It's dope.
Yeah.
Pikamuku is my favorite Pokemon.
Yeah. How did it become your favorite? Like, how did you start, like, just beating people 1v1?
Yeah, just using it in 1v1. I just thought it was dope. I mean, everybody used it when Innards Out was bugged.
That was so funny.
And then, yeah. that didn't take long to get fixed. But it was fun while it lasted.
Dude, I got put in the Ela Bandit fucking video like twice. I got clipped. Dude, I was like trying to play differently. I was like, okay, so I know this ability. I didn't know how it worked. I'm like, okay, I know this ability is like fucking broken. I'm gonna like try not to lose. And I fucking lost anyways. Cause it was so broken, dude. So dumb.
Yeah, it probably wouldn't even be good now. But that change is what ruined Rough Skin for Glowchamp too.
Yeah.
It's the same thing that makes Rough Skin not win.
I love the old rough skin mechanic. It's like one of the charms of Orest to me. It's like very cool.
Yeah. I definitely like the way Rough Skin used to work. Where you win if you kill someone with Rough Skin.
Yeah, it's just like, it makes sense if you think about it. Kinda. Like, not really, but, you know, I'm thinking about, like, you know, what if you do Hammer Armor Garchomp? I don't know, that shit would hurt. You would, like, fucking pass out. You know?
Yeah.
Something like that. Anyways, that's all I gotta say. If you have anything else you want to add, please call a specific player bad. Come on, dude, you got to. I'm peer pressuring you into it right now. Please call someone bad. Please.
I mean, Chicken Pie 2 doesn't really play that much anymore. He was really good back in the day, but he did not put a lot of work into the World Cup. He went 0-3. Which was sad.
Dude, I fucking
But-
said.
Oh.
What are you gonna say?
Oh, also you're bad, and also LMNI, RIP. Although I always called them Imni.
Imni or Limni?
Imni. Because
you're
everyone
weird.
always thinks it's an I, but it's not.
Yeah, they're not real 1v1 room lurkers who had to type their name out. Anyways, dude, I remember I said in my World Cup prediction video, I'm like, dude, SM is such a crazy tier that literally CP2 could go 0-3. And then Stable said, no, there's no way. And I said, yeah, dude, he could. And then it happened. And no, like, CP2 is like wildly like known as one of the best SM players, best 1v1 players ever. I'm like, dude, he could go 0-3. SM is a bad tier. That tier sucks.
Yeah.
I hate it.
His teams were bonkers that he posted. They're just like, oh yeah, I have Primarina without a water move and stuff like that.
Yeah. Wasn't there a Weavile?
Oh, I mean, I used the Weavile. I beat Satanic Beast Edgar with a Weavile in one of my tournaments. But you can use anything. I still like 1v1. I'll still be around. That's what I gotta say.
When do you plan on like dipping fully? When is your
Fully?
last tournament? Do you think?
I don't know. Who knows?
If you had to make a guess,
Could
make
be
a
this
guess
one.
right now. When
This
do you
one.
realistically
This tournament.
You heard it here first,
Yeah,
boys.
one with
Kentari's last
the
tournament.
one I'm in with. The one I'm in with PQS and Elo Bandit. But
No,
the only ones I'd
play more.
be in would be if. Oh, sorry. The only ones I'd be in would be like if I got to play with people I wanted to play with. Like if I was on a team with Elo Bandit, I'd probably join. But if I'm on a team with people I don't know, I'm not gonna play. But
So yeah, that about wraps.
I played a
things up.
lot of 1v1, man. I really
Yeah.
liked it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like just so easy to get into, and then you realize, wait, I've played like way too many hours of this shit, man.
Yep. I had close to the most games of Sun and Moon 1v1 played. I definitely was up there.
Yeah, you Ecstatic, I think, had the most, probably.
Yeah, and Attitude.
Oh yeah, even though that dude kind of sucks. He would smoke me on the ladder though. He would beat me on the ladder. Like it pissed me off because I'm like, dude, I'm better than this guy.
Yeah, I liked him, but he played a lot.
He's kind of insane.
Yeah, me, him, and Ecstatic.
That dude's kind of
Although when
a
I
bit
quit,
cray cray.
oh sorry. Yeah, when I quit playing, I think I had more than Ecstatic, but he probably passed me.
Yeah, definitely. Cause he never took a break ever in his entire life. Yeah.
He's always good, man.
Mhm. I mean, I stopped playing fucking like I don't know 100k games as to you, man. You just get good.
I liked his interview is what made me be like, when's the Kentari interview coming up?
Dude, cause like I hadn't heard his voice until that point, so I'm like, dude, this is definitely like, even if the interview sucks ass, which it didn't, I was like, dude, this is worth doing just cause fucking no one's ever heard his like French ass accent before.
Yeah, he's for real French.
Yep.
He used to only type in French.
Yeah.
Like
And then
you'd
he
play
would
him and he would
say-
just swear at you in French.
Yeah, and then he started saying, I hope your mother something, like it would just not make any sense.
Yeah, I always appreciated him because he always try-harded.
Yeah.
Even though he would hope you died in a terrorist attack or whatever.
Yeah. So you got anything else to say?
Alright.
I'm out.
Nah, I'm
Nothing to
good.
say.
I gotta go to bed.
Okay. Good night, Kentari. Thanks for coming. All that shit. Like and subscribe. Fucking drop a comment on what your favorite Japanese song is. You know, whatever.